Following the 2021 season, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was on top of the world. He had just broken out with 48 home runs, an OPS topping 1,000, and was a catalyst for one of the best Blue Jays offenses in recent memory. But following his record-breaking campaign that saw him take home numerous accolades, he followed it up posting 32 home runs, 97 RBIs, and an OPS that fell by almost 200 points in 2022. A solid season for 99% of big league players, but for one of the most powerful bats in baseball, it was extremely underwhelming. And in 2023, he continued this slow decline with a drop in practically every major offensive category, which has been one of the main reasons why the Jays offense fell from third best in runs per game in 2021 to fourth in 2022 to all the way down in 16th last season. The lack of offense was one of the biggest talking points for the Jays all season long and ended up spoiling one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. So let's go over the three biggest needs Vladdy must improve on if he wants to return to the star everyone in the MLB knows he's capable of being. First up, we have getting rid of the mindset that he needs to carry the whole offense. As mentioned, the 2021 lineup was star-studded from top to bottom. This allowed Vlad to just be himself in the box because with George Springer and Marcus Semien in front of him, followed by Bo Bichette and Teoscar Hernandez backing him up, the Jays could score regardless of whether Vlad's at-bat was efficient. Then, following the 2021 campaign, the Jays lost Marcus Semien along with his 45 home runs, 115 runs, and 102 RBIs to the Texas Rangers. A big miss for the offense, but with George Springer staying healthy for the whole season and players like Alejandro Kirk stepping up massively at the plate, the offense didn't take the big step back most anticipated. But for Vladdy, he did. Watching every at-bat of him at the plate, it felt like he was swinging out of his feet and chasing pitches because he felt like he had to reach the numbers he set in 2021, which was exactly what he mentioned as a big problem for him following the season. Then in 2023, it was more of the same with chasing pitches, where he ranked in the 43rd percentile in all of baseball. For reference, when he was at his best in 2021, it was at the 69th. This meant we saw more wacky swings from him last season. Just take a look at this at-bat against the Tampa Bay Rays in the final series of the season, where he's lunging way out of the batter's box to try and make contact with the pitch. Then in his next at-bat against the same pitcher, this time with 2 on and 2 outs, he again chases a pitch off the zone for strike 1. Then for strike 2, he chased another pitch off the plate, putting himself in the hole with 2 strikes before he was called for strike 3 on a front door sweeper. I was at this game, and let me tell you, those swings looked ugly all the way from center field. And as for the fix of this, it's hard to say, because it's truly a mindset issue over anything. But if there's one thing the team can do to help, it's to surround him with more firepower, because as we saw in 2023, he had a bunch of different guys backing him up in the cleanup spot, and it was even Dalton Varsho on opening day. Getting a power hitter such as Jorge Soler, Rhys Hoskins, or JD Martinez, all guys the Jays have expressed some interest in earlier this offseason, could be that extra comfort Guerrero has surrounding him to help alleviate the need for him to do everything himself. Moving on to the second thing Vlad needs to improve in, his defense. It's been one of the main talking points for him his entire career, dating back to 2015 when he signed. And at the time, did you know he was a left fielder? But as he became older, he moved to the hot corner, which is where we saw him make his debut in 2019. And during this game, he made an impressive scoop on a bouncing ball and threw to first in time to retire Steven Piscotty. Unfortunately, this was not foreshadowing his elite glove, and rather just an outlier in what was a miserable defensive season. After getting called up 25 games into the year, Vlad went on to post negative 20 outs above average, a figure that put him into the first percentile in baseball and worst among all third basemen by a considerable margin. But then in 2020, he was moved to the first base position, and while he didn't find great initial success there, he won the Gold Glove Award in 2022, with the decision criticized by most, and truthfully, I was a little surprised he beat out Anthony Rizzo and Luis Arias for it. But I understand the reasoning behind choosing Vlad. A stat called defensive runs saved, or DRS for short, quantifies a player's entire defensive performance by attempting to measure how many runs a defender saved. That season, Vlad had a positive 3 figure, and it was the highest among any American League first baseman with at least 700 innings logged. This award was a huge accomplishment for him because it felt as though he would be a defensive liability for his entire career until his inevitable move to DH. However, in 2023, like his offensive numbers, he took a massive step back. with his defensive run saved going from the best with 3 to 12th best with -3, and in outs above average he ranked once again in just the first percentile, with his -13 being the worst in all of baseball. This decrease in his defensive production yielded him -1.5 defensive WAR, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly why he regressed. Maybe it had something to do with his disappointing offensive production that killed his focus when in the field. But regardless, this is something Vladdy needs to improve on because entering his age 25 season, he's way too young to move into a full-time designated hitter role. And finally, we have get into elite shape. Because to perform the best on the field, you need to be at peak athletic fitness. And for Vladdy, being in a better condition has always been something that has followed him since the 2020 season. At this time, he was 6'2", around 280-ish pounds, and noted he had a hard time scoring from first on a hit in the gap, struggled to reach low pitches while hitting, and grew tired after fielding 20 ground balls in practice. Because of this, he went on a strict diet and training regimen where he shed an estimated 42 pounds in preparation for the 2021 season. This time he said, "I feel quicker on all aspects of my game right now, defensively and offensively." This quote was taken on February 24th, 2021, 6 weeks prior to his breakout season, and it makes sense when he was at his best physical condition. He felt a lot more confident in his ability and was a driving force into his career year. Because of this need to become stronger and leaner, Vladdy got to work directly after the regular season with Nicole Gabriel, a well-respected physical trainer who works with the likes of Randy Arozarena and Adolis Garcia. So far this offseason, we have received some updates on his training through his Instagram stories and looks to be working tirelessly to finally recapture his MVP form. Because as he gets lighter and lighter, it will become easier for him to swing, meaning his bat speed will certainly increase, which was a huge downfall for him in 2023. For example, take a look at this pitch from last fall. Normally one you would expect him to square up, but instead he just fouled it off. 2021 Vlad would have no problems catching up to the heat and putting the barrel on the bat. This lack of bat speed most definitely caused his stats against the fastball to go from elite in 2021 to a fraction of what he once posted. And by getting into elite shape, he will undoubtedly have immense confidence heading into the season. Pairing that with the improvements mentally to no longer believe he alone has to be the driving force in the offense, and with an added emphasis on performing well on both sides of the ball, Vladdy can once again break out in 2024, hopefully putting these bust rumors to bed once and for all, and show the world that he's not just a Hall of Famer's son, but a star who's writing his own path in the game on the way to Cooperstown, and it all starts this off-season. That wraps it up for this video. I just wanted to remind you of my brand new channel regarding anything that happens in MLB, with my latest video being about the rise and fall of Kris Bryant. If you're interested in that, then click on this little pop-up right here and hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for all the content I have coming. Also, let me know what you think about Vlad's 2024 outlook in the comments, and as always, hit the like button and subscribe on this channel for more awesome Jays content all off season long.